Alrighty.
Okay. We're going to be putting the front lower control arm heart brake line onto the front lower control arm, and the first thing we're going to do is basically bring it up to the rear side of the front lower control arm, and we're going to slide the little nut into the threaded end, and then what we're going to do is we're going to just screw it down, and you want to make sure that you just hold one end of the brake line while you're doing it and jiggle it loosely from the other end while you're screwing it in with your hand, just to make sure you don't cross thread the brake line. And you should note that right here, this end of the brake line up at the top is just shy of the bracket, so when we slide the adapter through, it's going to slide in over that flared end. And so once you get it snugged down by hand, down at this end, then you're going to go up to the top, you're going to align the flared end of the brake line through the hole, and then you're going to slide the adapter with the thick end coming through, and you're going to seat the flare just in it and hold with your hand as you slide the nut up to it, and then you're going to just hold it in place, and this is important not to cross thread it. You're going to hold it in place as you slowly screw the threaded part into the fitting. You'll know that it's in place when it just goes in hand tight, otherwise it would be cross threaded. You screw that down, and then we're going to use our flare nut tool to tighten these up. But are we going to do that now, or are we going to do it later?
Nope, we'll tighten down now.
Okay, and so effectively what we'll be doing is we'll be doing that in a second. Before we do that, what we'll do is we will take the ends of this flexible brake line. Both sides are the same?
Yes.
And we'll take this flexible steel braided brake line, and we will come up underneath, and we will first attach to the little brake line adapter. And so if you can see underneath, I'm holding the flexible brake line, again jiggling it slightly to make sure that you're not cross threaded. And you'll tighten it down, hand tight, and then you have it come up. And what you'll do is you'll take this small adapter, and you'll see this small adapter has both a bullet end and a inner concave flared end. This inner concave flared end is going to go into the T, that is the brake T right up in the front, and then the little bullet that comes out of the front, the tapered bullet, is going to be pointing back out toward the steel flexible braided line. So I hand tighten in the inner flared end, the concave end, and then I bend this back, and I put the steel braided brake line over the top and tighten down. Then what I'm going to do is I go back and I get my flare wrenches, and I get my larger flare wrench. And when do I put the clip in?
You can put the clip in now that you've got them partially threaded in, and you're sure that they haven't cross-threaded. You can pop the clip in.
Okay. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting a clip in the back of this bracket. We put it in the back of the bracket or the front of the bracket?
What you're going to do is
pull it through?
Pull it through, yeah.
Okay, so what we're doing here is what we're going to do is we're going to line up the larger part of it, and we're going to bend the brake line a little bit to pull it through. And then from the outside in, Mike? Or from the top down?
Yeah, you want to come in at like kind of an angle so that you can so that it won't pop out, but you can also still come in later and grab it and pull it out.
Okay. So basically we'll push this down, and I need a little tapper. So we'll get the crescent wrench, and we're going to tap down this tab, and then I will take these...
Sorry, not the crescent wrench, channel locks.
Channel locks. So first we'll tap these down in. So now this is being held in place, and then what we'll do is we will take our flare nut tool and our flare nut wrench, and we will use it. So I will be taking the 7/16, the 3/8 end, and I slide it over the brake line, and then I tighten up gently. Now these can always be tightened down more, but they can't be tightened, they can't be taken off. So what we do is we try to hold on when we're doing it and make sure it's snug, and then later on when we tighten up the brakes, we'll make sure that it's just right. And if you need to hold on one side of things, some of these are bigger, we'll be using the larger flare nut tool to go over it, which will be used, for example, down here as a way to hold on to the pieces. Does it hold on to this piece at the bottom, Mike?
What's that?
Does it hold on to this?
No, this one you can do with just the flare line.
Okay, with that. We'll do that with the flare line. And then up here, this holds on to the end of the brake line adapter, right like this. while we screw the other side with the smaller flare nut tool, which is a 7/16. And that's it. Tighten them up just hand tight, and then we'll come back and we'll tighten them up more when it's time to do the brakes.